Well, Coach, first things first, I appreciate you sitting down with me. It's a Gym Class Podcast, powered by ESPN 730. And my whole goal is to dig beneath the plays. You know, you got so many guys that want to talk about this game, that game. I say I leave that up to them. I want to know about you as a person. You know, you've had a lot of success. A little bit of controversy, but more success than anything. You know,
with success comes controversy.
Exactly. Like they say, if you don't have haters, then you ain't doing something right.
That's correct. That's
you know,
correct.
But the first thing I want to say, first of all, welcome West Charlotte head coach Sam Greiner. When you hear that name, Sam Greiner, I think about a lot, a very personable person. But I got to say, what makes you you? Because you have such a unique thing going on with you.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, first of all, before any titles of coach, father, husband, any of those things, there's a great titles. My very first thing that I live by is that I'm saved. By the grace of God, He saved me when I was 16 years old, and I'm an advocate for Christ. So you strip any of those other titles away from me, if all you have is the Christian and the believer, then I'm going to be just fine. And that's my bare bones. That is who I am. It's not that I'm a football coach, husband. I'm a servant to the Most High God, and that is my bare bones of everything that I live by.
When you hear progression, of course, this is your fourth year at West Charlotte, I believe, correct? Started during COVID.
Yeah, very tough time.
Very tough time. You could just talk to me about that process first and foremost.
Yeah, when I came in here, it was a great opportunity. I saw the new school being built. You had to see the horizon, and you knew you had to get through the mud to get there. And there was a lot of stimulations when I got here. Josh Harris did an amazing job. It's who hired me. He was the coach before me. I got a lot of respect for him. I talk to him weekly. Great guy. We had a great conversation. He thought I would be a good fit. Went through the process, and I knew it was going to be an uphill battle. We didn't know COVID was going to hit us like it did. So we basically had 2 seasons in one. We played in the spring and played in the fall, and it was a drastic difference from the spring to the fall. That little bit of weight room we had, remember, everything was getting torn down. We had to walk like a whole mile to even get to the practice field. All these things, not having no home games. This is going to be our first season having home games. But that first season transition was you had to believe in what was to come. You had to get through that. And if you don't have strong enough faith, you weren't going to get through it. A lot of people wouldn't be able to get through that first year, that year two. They would just call it quits and say the stress is too much. But, perseverance through that. Now we're here today, year 4. Now you get to really reap the fruit of the benefits that we put in the first 3 years.
Yeah, now I'm going to stick on that idea of perseverance, because, like we said, just a slight bit of controversy that kind of put y'all behind the 8 ball last year. I would say, and when you speak of progression, so it had to be the way y'all ended the season. I would say would be success compared to where you start the season.
Oh, no doubt.
Starting 100 yards behind. So, if you could tell me, what did you consider about that transition, and what was that time like that helped you get through the season?
Well, be honest with you, I'll start you back all the way in the summer. Unfortunate, effects. I have a lot of people in my corner that understand me, that know me on a personal level. Outsiders that don't, they might want to come attack this program. They're willing to hurt kids to get to me sometimes, and whatever it takes. And it's sad that they would go through that. Having that suspension in the summer, and then going through all the paperwork and the meetings, and they find out that I didn't do anything wrong. It was a blessing in disguise to see my players and parents fight for me. It showed that they love me just as much as I love them, and it made me want to work. Because in that summer when I'm sitting at home and I'm working construction, I'm trying to make some money for my family, I was like, you know what? Maybe coaching is not there anymore. Maybe God's telling me it's time to quit. That I got to be there for my newborn that's being grown up right now. I got to raise him a certain way, and I need to be. I'm not having enough time at home. But then there's something that hit me, and it said, God put me here for a reason. I wasn't finished yet, and it's not about me. It's His purpose. At the end of the day, when the dust clears, I want His stamp to be a part of this. That's why we say man the throne. When we got here, the lion is the king of the jungle, and that is a purpose. We were made more than conquerors. I want every one of these players, not just in football, but in life in general. You tackle life. Life is difficult. People are going to come at me. They're going to come at you. Things are difficult. But if you can persevere, like we were just talking about, getting through those tough times like last summer, getting over the hump, God's got a bigger plan for us. And just to see the beauty in that from just the beginning of the season when we're struggling to finding a freshman quarterback and fighting through the turmoil. And then all of a sudden, 9 seconds away from beating the #1 team in the state, we have a lot of life coming into this year. We're not losing a lot of bodies to seniors last year. We have a lot of continuity coming back.
Well, that's a perfect segue because I was definitely about to get into that last game y'all had of the season. A lot of people doubted you guys coming that game. Kings Mountain was on the road.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were like one of the best teams in this region. And you guys went up there and y'all put up a fight. And fortunately didn't have enough at the end. Mm-hmm. What did you learn from that loss? Because we all learn from losses. What did you guys learn from that loss that y'all able to bring in this season?
The one thing is I'm getting tired of getting beaten by Kings Mountain in the playoffs. So hopefully that changes. They got a great coach. The coach that they just got, I've worked with him the All-American game before, the Army All-American game back in San Antonio, Texas. He's a great coach. So they're not gonna miss any beats. They're gonna be good again. So we're probably gonna have to see them eventually in the playoffs down the road, hopefully. And it's just getting from point A to point B is difficult, like you said. But our team became player-led. Like we're all saying that this year's team, the difference in a great team and a good team is being player-led. A good team can be ran within the players. Or a good team can be ran within the coaches. Like they had their identity, they're preaching toughness, discipline, all that. But when the players get it, your leaders finally say, nah, we're not doing this. That rep wasn't good enough. When we get to that point, we become great. A lot of my members on my staff, we got Jawan Edwards, we got Chris Coleman, we got a lot of coaches that won state championships, Coach Williams. Everybody's been a part of state championships in some regard, either coaching or playing, and I think that they know what it takes, and they're putting that identity on the players as well, and hopefully that's what gets us over the hump from being good to great.
And obviously you have experience, you've won a state championship as well. What would you say is your recipe or building blocks to success?
Like I said, the foundation, your foundation has to be built upon a rock. If it's on sinking sand, if it's crumbling, if you put all your marbles in one thing that's not secure, like I said, my faith, like I live my coaching life through my faith. I can't put it on someone else, but that is going to be the rock in the foundation. The belief that these kids are playing for something bigger, that's their foundation. I think X's and O's, when you look at things, I think we're a very unique team. We do things that other people don't do. I think we're creative enough on offense and creative enough on defense to manipulate the eyes, to do certain things, to have illusion in plays and be creative. I think that's kind of part of it, that you want to be able to get these athletes in space and let them be special. And I think that what we do gives them that opportunity to excel.
So I was watching an interview, I think it might have been Media Day, and you said your defense is going to be the most elite in the state. What is it going to take to make that true?
A lot more discipline from here to the next game from the scrimmage. But talent-wise, if we stay healthy and we always talk about eyes. If we know what we're doing, if we're doing what we're coached to do for 2 seconds, those athletes will make plays after they do what they're taught. We got to stay really, really tough on them for those first 2 seconds of being disciplined, of doing their assignment. If they do that, the rest of it will take care of itself. I mean, you got Jaden Smith, you got Julian Carmichael, you got KD in the back end, you got DeQuinder Williams, you got Sam Napier, you got Sam on the D line, you got Carter, you got Elijah Littlejohn, you got Epsis coming up. We have probably 7 to 8 Division I players on defense. And when that perfect storm starts getting it all together, they're elite. Like even in practice, we can't get any yard on them. If they're playing at a level and intensity and discipline and playing the true to who they are, we can't move the ball on them. And I think that iron sharpens iron. If we get that in practice day in and day out, then that's going to be great for us. But we're not there yet, but we want to get there.
So I had a conversation with Coach Greer at Providence Day, and he talked about how Jordan Shipp came in as a quarterback and turned into a receiver. You seem to have that same kind of transition or that eye for talent. As you bring in a smaller kid, and Jaden, who wanted to play receiver.
That's right.
And then you got him over to the defensive side. You just talked to me about that conversation, that process, and just keeping him confident during out those times of doubt.
Yeah, without the doubt. He started as a freshman, and he was good. He was a good wide receiver. But as a coach, our job is to we're playing chess while kids are still playing checkers. You have to be able to see moves ahead. if we think that we can make it through the season, he can play both or whatnot. If we see him playing in a certain position in college, we want to try our best to put him in that position. The unique thing about him, he came in like he wanted to be a receiver. His brother just came into school this year. Guess what? He wants to be a running back. And his brother's bigger than Jaden, okay? So you got Caden, who rhymes with Jaden, is coming here, same thing I'm dealing with. He comes in here and he thinks he's a running back. And he probably was a running back in the middle of school, where the speed is not necessarily more of a factor. He can be a bruiser. He's a good enough, skillful guy that can play it. But he's going to play D-line. I mean, you have to be able to foresee these things and play chess while these kids are still playing checkers, like I said, and seeing those moves ahead. Jaden is extremely fast and explosive. One of the fastest ones there is at linebacker. Can dip his ankles. He's able to like literally bend at the shin and do things. Where Chris Partridge, who's the linebacker coach at Michigan, evaluated him. This is before Jaden's this big 4-star guy. Just says, we want that guy. Okay, they saw it too. His capabilities at the other end of the spectrum at playing linebacker are so far greater than they would have been at receiver. Could he play receiver and be okay at it? Yes. But you have to be able to see where these kids' futures lies. Now, on the other hand, we have KD. KD, all right, who is literally the opposite aspect. He is going to play DB probably in college, but he's such a great leader that the drop-off, we have to play him at quarterback right now. Now, we went through the whole June and May of trying to give the other guys opportunities, and they're getting better. But KD is such a leader that we have to put him at quarterback, even though he's going to play DB in college. But we have the capability in practice when these colleges come in, they see his athleticism. We can put him in dime package, play him on defense still, and show highlights of what he really is going to be. But it shows that other quality of his leadership, and he still will be able to get scholarships playing quarterback because it shows his skill set. So it's a very unique thing what you have to be able to do to build a position to get him in college, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you say that because I was just going to bring it to him, and it feels like it's also a benefit too because the fact that he's able to play the other side of the ball and see what a quarterback sees. And if you could, because I remember you saying that he accepted that role easily, seemed to be seamless for him. Yeah. What does it mean to you as a coach to have guys that basically just sacrifice themselves at this level for the greater good of the team?
Yeah, and I've been a part of it in the past where the first person I ever seen happen was Brahim Murphy, my son, that went to West Point and graduated. Now he's working. He's actually coaching as his first assignment for the Army. And I saw it there. I can see when you, like I said, player-led, when you see someone of that magnitude, the KD, the Brahims, take on a role where they might not play that position ever again, but they understand and utilize that their leadership qualities make everyone else better. Their X factor at playing in a certain position elevates the rest of the team. And for them to see that at that age, at 14 and 15 years old, blows my mind. Very rarely you get those type of guys. That's why I think we could be special this year. We've had some talent in the past. We finally have a glue that keeps us and molds us, and that glue makes everyone else better. Right now, KD is that opportunity of that guy. Jaden on defense has been here for 4 years. He accepted a role where he didn't want to play linebacker. He just did it and trusted it. Now look at him. But KD, whole different level on the aspect of, can he throw the football? Yeah, load the box. You'll see him throw the ball. It's fine. You want to see not load the box, he'll run the ball. I mean, he's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
So when you look at this offense, that seems to be the part that everyone's kind of wondering, seems to be a question mark. Second year of KD, well, actually his first year, having the whole full off season, learning the offense, and now coming to this year. What is it going to take for the offense to take that next step forward to get you guys over the hump and get you where you see yourself, your team being?
We always say if we can not create the negative play, we're a tough team to beat. So if we eliminate any bad snaps, if we eliminate a blown assignment like a run through, if we're able to hit people contact and create the surge, all we're looking for is a surge of about a half a yard to a yard. If we do that, we're going to be a very tough team to beat. I think that the illusion of things that they do, the creativity that these guys are able to do within the offense helps create positive plays for them. We just can't have run-throughs or hurt ourselves. If we stay disciplined, no pre- and post-snap penalties, they'll be able to drive the ball, and it's very suffocating on defenses. And I think that it's going to be a special year. Like just elaborating at the end of last year to see what it takes to this year, I think it can be special because KD can throw the football. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if he has 3 or 4 touchdown football throwing games. It wouldn't surprise me at all.
Is there any other guys on the offensive side that you see that are going to be good compliments to him?
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
Get you guys
I
going?
mean, it starts with the guards. You got the Wilson brothers at guard, and we got a cool little picture we just did on a Photoshop from Step Brothers. We made them look like Step Brothers in the picture. I love it. It was pretty cool. We just posted that. But they lead the offensive line. We got a lot of other guys, a couple of guys like Fennell Marshall got an opportunity to play Division I football. He's a big guy. It starts with those guys. They have to create that surge. If they create that surge for us on offense, we're a tough team to beat. Everywhere else, skill-wise, you're not going to hear us complain that we're young. But I'm going to tell you what, we got a senior running back, but the guy that played in the scrimmage, he's a freshman running back. You got a freshman wide receiver, 2 sophomore receivers. So we're extremely young in these skill positions, but it's no excuses. We got to be good now. They're ready. They're seasoned. They're going to play like they're seniors, and they're not like, well, we got a year to figure this out, and we're going to be good by our junior year, senior year. No, the time is now. We don't put no type of emphasis of like, oh, we're young and we'll get there. No, we expect to be good now, and let's go.
And I'm going to just end on this. One thing about this podcast I like to do, I want it to be timeless. Mm-hmm. I don't want it to be something that you listen to in 3-4 weeks from now. You're like, well, that game's over. I can't really take anything from that, So I want to ask you this before we get out here. Like, what has been like the best life advice, coaching advice, career advice that you've gotten from someone throughout your process?
You really want to know that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, the guy coaches with me today. One of the best things I've ever heard, and it's one of the biggest mistakes I think we do as coaches. The most common word you hear when you shake hands is what?
Good game.
Good game, or good
luck.
The rest of the season. Exactly. I absolutely hate the word luck now.
Yeah.
I hate when people say it to me. I know that they don't mean no harm, but I'll grab their hand because it happened to me. Randy Long, I was at Advanced High School defense coordinator. He was the head coach of Providence. We were able to beat them in a playoff game. He was a great coach. I said good luck to him. He grabs my hand, pulls me in tight, and he says, Coach, I thought you said you were a believer. And I said, I am. And he says, why don't you say good luck? And I said, I don't know, it's just everybody says it, want you the best, whatever. He says, so that's bullcrap. And he made me research, and he said, the root word from Lucifer comes, that's where luck comes from. And he says, why are you basically saying to me, you not believe in purpose and opportunity? And I said, I do. And I take that that advice he gave me, I live with going forward today. I don't want to win by no daggone luck. Yeah. Preparation. We were made to be great. We were made to be conquerors. Man the daggone throne. This is yours to go take it. Nobody's going to hand it to you. I don't want, we were fortunate enough. No, we earned this. We're going to go take what's ours because God made us great. Go show them how great you are. And that's our identity. That's the biggest thing I've taken in my past.
Man, they say, well, luck is when hard work meets opportunity. So,
I say I don't even need it. I'm saying God's got a plan. He made me great, and I don't even need that word in my vocabulary. I'm saying God's speed because I'm at His speed and His will.
All right, thanks, Coach, for sitting down with me. I enjoyed this conversation, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys play this weekend.
Godspeed, brother.
Okay, Godspeed.